All right. We got World of T-Shirts, Josh here, and Mr. Michael Quinn. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. I just want to start off maybe by giving like a brief explanation of how you both started. Of course, you guys are sort of both known on the internet in a way as one, like a lot of people who know you, and vice versa. So I'm curious, like where you both sort of got your start with
Want to
posting
start,
videos.
Josh? Good.
I first started doing TikToks during the COVID quarantine. I was really bored, so I decided to run all around New York. And I started becoming an international sensation.
Yeah, that's when I found you.
I've been all over Europe. I've been to Iceland, Netherlands, Norway, Italy, England, France.
That's amazing. So
And people know me, and I'm famous in all those countries.
yeah, people know you everywhere.
Every
right?
country, even in other states. I'm famous in Canada, too.
Obviously, you went from just a kid at your house in Long Island to an
Just
international
a broke
sensation.
high school kid.
A
Now
broke
I
high school
make
kid.
pretty good money.
Yes.
I've been traveling a lot lately.
Yeah. Which is amazing. And so I'm curious, like when you started making TikTok videos, did you expect that the videos would get a lot of views and that you'd make, pretty good
Not
money?
really.
Like you
My
said?
first viral video, I had some semi-viral TikToks in my home, before the
What's
New
semi-viral for you?
York, close to 1 million views. But my most viral video that I've ever posted was me singing Empire State of Mind in the middle of Times Square. I
Yes,
had
of
like
course.
26 million views
Yeah.
on that post.
We've all seen that one. At what point did you say to yourself, like, oh, maybe this could become a career. Maybe I could make something out of this.
In December of 2020 or November 2020, I had hit over 500,000 followers. When I hit 1 million followers back in around March of 2021. Right now I'm at 2.6 million followers. I feel like when I travel, I get a lot more views. Like I go to different countries, different states.
And a lot of people obviously like to see you travel, yeah?
I was in Las Vegas earlier this year.
How did you like it there?
It was pretty good. I've been to Vegas and Atlantic City.
Which one do you like better?
I liked Vegas more.
Yeah. Me
Atlantic
too.
City is more of a beachy thing.
Yeah.
Vegas is a lot more partying.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are sort of like, who is this guy? Like people who have found you from Josh's videos are sort of like, who is this Michael Quinn guy? Where did he come from? What's his background? And so I'm curious to just like learn more about that.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing this before TikTok. I've been supporting restaurants and businesses throughout New York City. I may not be as known to the younger, the teeny boppers and the people in the early 20s, but, with the Feltman's Coney Island hot dog brand that I revived about 8 years ago, I was on national television many times and basically known more maybe from adults than the younger generation. And, I came across TikTok, but I was very much, I hesitated to join TikTok, because it was one of those things I'm like, well, this is for kids, right?
TikTok.
And then once,
sorry.
It's all right. Once I saw like General Motors had a TikTok, I said, well, maybe it's okay. I could join TikTok now.
Right.
So I started basically my initial TikTok was like, there were basically history lessons of New York City because I'm a New York City historian and profiles of restaurants and friends of mine that own businesses in the area. And, within no time, I got about 40,000 followers and was building basically a following, as far as that type of stuff. And the great thing about TikTok is, as opposed to like any other platform, it doesn't matter your followers. I have numerous accounts. It's like a sponge. It's the algorithm, right?
Yeah.
So basically what happened was I was doing all this stuff and I came across Josh. I think because Josh is very interested in New York. And I think we engaged a few times talking about New York somehow. I think we engaged on TikTok. And then out of the blue, Josh followed me and sent me a message. And he just said, hey, would you want to meet up and create content together? And first time we met up was at a place called Rolf's. And I think Josh knew that I have the knowledge of New York City history, and I know some people, and it's something that I thought would be cool for us to do. And for me, it doesn't matter your age or mental capacity, who you are. If you're cool and I get along with you, I'll collaborate and create TikToks.
Yeah.
Like, it really doesn't matter to me. So that's how our friendship started, was just basically getting together, at restaurants in the city and bars and places like that. And basically, we're coming out of pandemic. Let's support these places. Let's support New York City. Let's support the economy.
Excuse me.
Yes.
So TikTok is not a kid's app. Musically was a kid's app. TikTok is for all ages.
Well, Musically it became TikTok.
I know, but Musically
preceded TikTok.
Musically was a kid's app.
But like 2-3 years ago, it was a kid's app.
Well, now every major corporation is on TikTok.
Now, but I'm saying when I first was aware of TikTok, I didn't join right away because that was the perception that it was an app for teenagers.
Now it's like for all ages.
Well, that's why. Yeah, that's when I joined.
Every major corporation is on it. Mm-hmm. People use it to promote ads for their businesses.
Yes.
It's more of a commercial platform now.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
You do have to be 18 to use a lot of features on there.
Mm-hmm. It evolved. It changed a lot. But when I first got on it, or before I got on it, I didn't want to jump on it right away because of that perception of being an app for children or kids or teenagers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for giving that backstory. I'm curious, like, you guys said you went to a German restaurant?
Well, Rolf's. It's very popular.
Rolf's. Yeah.
It's in my neighborhood. And he wanted to meet up there because it's hard to get reservations. And I know the owner there. And I said, hey, let's hang out and create, take videos and create TikTok and content for the restaurant. And that's kind of the first time we hung out. And then we started hanging out and going different places and creating content together. That's pretty much how it evolved.
I'm curious, I guess, just because I think so many people are so fascinated, like, with your guys' relationship. Mm-hmm. Like, what does your relationship nowadays look like? Mm-hmm. Like, do you guys see each other often? Like, tell me a little more about it. I guess I want to hear from both of you. Really.
Yeah, our relationship's kind of like, I don't know, most of you probably haven't read this book called Ulysses by James Joyce. It's kind of like Stephen Dedalus and Leopold Bloom, these two people, like, one's the adult figure, one's like, kind of like the younger person that, looks up to the older figure and goes around Dublin, and they kind of talk about things in life and things of that nature. So I almost liken it to that in a way. And, I think Josh came into my life and I came into my life for a reason. I think there's something in his life that was missing as far as, having an adult figure that looks after him, and I do look after him, and he knows that, and I think he appreciates that, and I just really enjoy when we collaborate and hang out in the city and enjoy ourselves, and I when I look after him, like whenever he has issues, whenever he's in trouble. I remember over a year ago on New Year's when he got into a lot of trouble in Seagate, and Quinn, people were begging me, Quinn, you have to do something to save Josh, and I got him to Coney Island Hospital that night. And that day I was a hero, but it's basically whatever you're doing today, you're only as good as what you're doing today. Right. But I definitely look after Josh like his guardian angel. I think we have a simpatico, we have a common interest, and our love is New York City. We have just a lust for life and enjoying ourselves. And, Josh is a young man. He's a man. He's a grown-up. And sometimes he does things to excess, as we know.
Yeah.
And, there's only so much I can do to guide him. If I'm in Paris and he's in Indianapolis and he's, getting into some kind of issue, some kind of trouble, there's not much I could do. But I can text him and help him and provide guidance for him. And that's basically what I look to do, as far as our friendship is concerned. And we don't hang out as much as we used to. I think Josh will text me, hey, Quinn, what are you doing tonight? Do you want to go for dinner, or you want to do a TikTok somewhere? Like, we don't hang out as much as we do, let's say, like a year ago, I've been traveling a lot more lately, and so has Josh. He's been exploring the world, and that's a good thing. And, we talk about things about that I think that affect Josh. I think, obviously, I think he goes he's a little overboard with obviously with drinking at times, and to say the least. And we had this conversation earlier today, and he promised he's not going to drink today. And I do whatever I can to try to get him the resources to help him.
I think I have to moderate it because I don't like hangovers, the sickness, the shaky hands, those things.
You can't just force someone to go into like a program like that. It just doesn't work. And what Josh and I have these conversations.
What's good about my situation is I can go a day or two without drinking.
But what I do with Josh is we discuss. I say, Josh, how do you feel? I feel like crap. Do you want to feel like that every day? No. Look what's happening. Is this helping your career? No, Michael. You're right.
Yeah.
So I just try to guide Josh to the conclusion. Let him make the decision. This is not something he wants to do. That it's ruining his life, or it's not ruining his career, and basically all the issues he has right now are directly related to alcohol consumption. But he has to come to that conclusion on his own, and a light bulb has to go above his head, and he has to say, you know what? I want to make the change. I can't force it. All of you can't force it. Josh has to make that decision himself.
Right. I mean, I have been taking your advice, but occasionally if it's an occasion, like I'm on vacation or it's a weekend, I may let loose a little bit. But like I don't really drink as much during the day anymore. I stay sober.
Right.
I don't drink in the morning anymore at all.
I mean, I haven't checked your TikTok, I don't think, in the last few weeks, but that's very recent, right?
When I was in Indianapolis, I did let loose a little bit because I was on vacation.
Do you think that you have a problem?
I don't think so. I mean, I can go a day, 2 or 3 without a drink. I mean, if I was if it was full blown alcoholism, I wouldn't be able to do that. I mean, there was a time when I was I was an alcoholic maybe for 2 months, over the summer. I was an alcoholic. Like I was waking up, shaky hands. I kept taking those airplane bottles of Fireball and my shakes were coming back. Yeah. I decided, so over the holidays, I decided to abstain from alcohol for 3 days.
Yeah.
Just to get it out of my system. So that if I have a drink, I won't get withdrawals anymore.
Is that true? Did you not get any withdrawals today?
Nothing. No shakes, nothing. I've been this was over the summer when I was having problems. I think after my trip to Boston, I decided to fix it.
Okay. And when did you go to Boston? At the end of the summer, I assume?
In September.
September.
This was in September. I was I can't stand the symptoms. I got to cut down.
Right. What's your goal as far as cutting down goes? I see, and I guess there's, probably mixed reviews on this, but I see the drink tracker.
Occasionally I drink, I have a bit too much, but I can make the decision now to stay sober or to have a drink or two. I'm not fully dependent anymore. It's
important to see the trends in which you're getting better or worse when it comes to drinking too much.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go too deep into this because I'm not a psychologist.
I don't
I'm not a
drink
specialist
nearly
on
as
this.
much as I did.
Right. Maybe that's true today. Right, but it's not necessarily
over
true.
The summer,
it's not. I don't think it's necessarily
over the
last 2 months trending down.
Over the summer, I was abusing alcohol.
I think it's you're focusing more on I'm not drinking for the next couple of days, but I'm drinking again. I think it's more looking at what are the consequences.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Look
I don't drink so much anymore.
Yeah, but look what happened because you have. You know what I'm saying? Think of what happens in recent days even.
I mean, I turned over a new leaf And
I've heard that numerous times before, but are you going to stick with it?
I am going to stick with it. I'm taking a day off.
But is day off changing a new leaf, and then you have another 26 drinks?
I'm not
Like, Josh, are you going to drink tomorrow?
If I may not. If I do, I'll have a glass of wine or two or a beer. I'm not going to have like 20 drinks during a single day.
Right. But do you ever just have like a glass of wine or two?
Sometimes. If it's like a Friday night, or if I'm on a trip or something, I may have a little more than that.
Right.
I'm moderating myself.
Well, I think we can probably just sort of like move on from that because, like I said, I'm not like a specialist and
why don't we change?
I think you seem like a really bright guy, and I think that you have a lot of talent, and I think you have a lot going for you.
Yeah, I hope you can limit the drinking.
Yeah, I really hope that you can.
Oh, let's move on to a different topic.
How do you see your relationship with Mike?
He's pretty good,
Pretty good?
Pretty good.
He's great. Like, he makes sure I don't drink a lot. He makes sure, like, if I need money for something like a bill paid.
Right. Have you needed money for bills paid before?
Occasionally, yeah. Because, the thing is, I don't have a fixed income. My income depends on how many people book my tours, how many people do my cameos. And like occasionally I'll have a bad month or I'll have bad days.
This is more my speed because a lot of the content that I make is around like finance and business and stuff. So I am curious like how you sort of manage those things.
I usually
and where your income is
keep
coming
a
from.
lot of money in a checking account. I'm considering investing some.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I'd like to buy some more stocks.
Yeah.
Or
do you own stocks?
Cryptocurrency.
Do you own any stocks or cryptocurrency?
I used to.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
I also showed Josh how to make money. Now, Josh, last year, I said, Josh, what do you want to do with your life? He goes, well, I would love to be a tour guide. Now, I was a former tour guide in Coney Island many years ago, and I said, I could show you how to do that. I said, why don't we do a tour in the East Village? And I facilitated the tour. I designed it and trained Josh how to become a tour guide and show him the East Village. And this is, so basically, we did that. I did it with him for about a half a dozen times with the groups, and then he went on his own. And then it kind of, Josh added his own element of it. So initially
I added 2 complimentary drinks and a Brooklyn part of the tour.
Josh,
that wasn't an initial tour. Yeah.
Why did you do that?
What?
Why would you add on the drinks?
Because sometimes it's mainly a favor, for joining the tour. Like I get a lot more business than I used to.
Do you really?
Yeah. And then I added a Brooklyn part of it.
But don't you think that you could give some sort of freebie that doesn't have to do with drinks?
How about an egg cream?
What about an egg cream or like a root beer or something?
Drinks are appealing to, older people, If I don't force anybody to drink, they don't have to drink anything if they don't want to.
Of course.
It's a favor.
Mike, you were speaking. Josh started the tour business. You sort of showed him the
ropes.
ropes.
Got him back on Cameo.
It wasn't your idea for him to have drinks in.
Not at all.
The
only drink was an egg cream at Ray's. There was no,
Right.
He passed by certain places, told the history of it, went around to St. Mark's Place. It was more, detail about the history of the area.
It's both. It's like I still give the history is still there. I still do like the history of places. I give a lot. I feel like I have more in-depth history when I'm in parts of Brooklyn than the East Village.
On the tours, you're drinking, right?
Just 2 beers. Is
it just 2 beers?
I haven't been on the tours.
Okay.
I was only on the wholesome tours.
It's usually 2 beers.
Okay.
But occasionally someone will bring me a shooter. And if it's like a Friday or Saturday night, I'm like, what the heck? But during the week, I try to limit the drinks consumption, or I'll go a day or two without drinking at all.
Well, right, because I'm just thinking like, how could you give a tour, if you're drunk?
I'm
right?
not drunk. I don't
Okay.
get near that point when I'm conducting business.
Okay.
Gotcha. 2 beers isn't going to get you drunk.
I see.
Yeah. Beers are a very light drink.
Okay, so tell me more. I want to hear more about your business.
I cut them off after 2 because if I overserve them, it's like a bar. I could be it's like being a bartender. They could charge me with manslaughter.
Oh,
I
interesting.
only
I didn't
allow
think
them
about
to
that.
have 2 drinks.
Yeah, that's smart.
And I don't buy them liquor. I buy them beer or wine or hard seltzer. That's all I get them.
I'm curious to hear, like, what are the other sort of like components of your business? Like, how else are you making money? So you mentioned you have the tours.
Mainly
we briefly
tours
mentioned Cameo,
and
right?
cameos.
But tell me more about that. Like, how much money are you making a month off of like tours and Cameo and all of
Merchandise,
these things?
too.
Merchandise.
Which I have no part of, by the way. People think I'm part of that. I don't do the merchandise.
I've made like a lot of money. I'm not allowed to say how much I made on the merch.
And how much cut do I get of your business?
Nothing.
See that?
I can't give an exact amount. It's pretty decent money.
Yeah, like you're making a living wage.
Pretty much.
But you don't have any bills to pay, really, besides your phone bill. You have no living expenses, right?
Like between all
So anytime
my
Josh has
income,
needed help on a bill, it's his phone
between
bill.
all my incomes combined, I would say at most $60K a year.
Okay. Obviously, I think for someone in your position, in your age, at your age, is pretty great, right?
Right.
It's
With no expenses.
It's higher than average.
He's not paying
right?
$4,000 a month rent on East Village walk up.
I just think the thing that I see here
I
though
don't
is
think
like
I could afford to live in Manhattan. Maybe I could live in Queens or in Jersey.
Ooh, Jersey.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I could probably afford.
not Jersey.
I could
Don't go to Jersey, Josh.
I won't. I could afford Jersey. I
Right.
can't afford Manhattan. I'm hoping I could afford Brooklyn or Queens.
Right.
Or something like that. I could live in Windsor Terrace.
My dad grew up there.
Or Park Slope.
Park Slope, yeah.
Or I could move to Jackson Heights, Queens. That's the rent there is pretty cheap.
Now, I worked with Josh in a resume, and one of the things that he was looking to do, and I have a few people that I know in the business, Josh expressed a desire to work at a hotel. And I think he'd be great at that.
Yeah.
And so speak about that, Josh, how you would like to work at a
I'd
hotel.
like to work at a hotel. I'm very good. I'm very into, the travel industry.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like
I
you love
go
travel.
all over Europe. I go to Miami, Chicago, Vegas,
So you want to work in a hotel. So
Texas.
I guess before I ask you about that, I'm curious. So does that mean you don't want to be making videos full time?
I mean, I'm still gonna be on TikTok.
Right, but
I mean, eventually, like, I'm gonna fall off and I'll
Why?
need. Oh, not everybody who's a TikTok celebrity, like movie stars, eventually they fall off.
I don't know.
It's
I don't know if
not
that's a
gonna
good
last.
enough. Well, okay.
I did fall off, like, during the pandemic. Like, I was getting no views whatsoever. Like, and I lost a lot of followers.
Yeah.
Was that because of the fish incident?
I don't think it had anything to do with that, but people were pretty mad at me. And then they told me to say, that thing on Cameo,
Yeah.
KNEE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Why
I did hear that.
is that bad? It sounds like a naughty word. It sounds like you're saying the naughty word.
Yeah.
I misinterpreted it. I thought it meant like knees growing.
Yeah.
And then they posted it online. And then they were trying to cancel me over it.
Well, the same thing with me. There's this guy, world Sigmas.
I mean, it didn't it wasn't as bad, you know. The effort to get me canceled wasn't nearly as bad as I was canceled for maybe a couple days.
Josh, what about the Snickers thing with me? Right? So I go into the convenience store and I buy a Snickers bar.
Yeah.
And I was a play on World of Sigmas, who was a play
World
on
of
World
Snickers.
I said World of Snickers. And then people think I said a bad where I didn't. And then
the way you said it kind of sounds
I have a New York
similar.
accent, but I say Snickers. So people think but it begins with an S. So that's one thing that they do in this whole deepfake culture of like taking my videos and altering what I say.
Do you have this video? I'm just like curious.
I don't, because it's not on my.
The account was banned. Your account was banned.
Oh, it's banned.
Yeah. So I don't know. So basically, you know, I didn't know that a Snickers bar was offensive. You know, I never knew that.
It's just a freaking candy bar.
It's a candy bar. There's nothing offensive of a World of Snickers.
Yeah.
You know,
you're over a dumb candy bar.
Yeah.
Is this it?
Yeah, my favorite bar is Snickers bar. I love Snickers. It's so tasty and big and black and thick and.
Okay. I see it in this clip, right?
Yeah.
I'm allergic to peanut butter.
Yeah.
It feels like just based off that video.
Yeah.
Like you sort of like you feed into like the negative stuff,
the thing is,
right?
you know,
where it's like
occasionally I do. So occasionally, like they say things that are not true, and then they make up all these stories, and they say, "Oh, Quinn's a racist. He's a navel." I'm like, no, fuck you. Like, fuck you. I'm not. You know. And these people have nothing better to do than to post their own videos and their own things about me that are just not accurate. You know. And you know, it's bullshit. You know, it's all bullshit. And it's just crazy how the way they portray me, you know, in a way that's just not, it's not who I am, you know, and they have nothing better to do than to write things about me and that are just not accurate, you know.
Yeah, for me, I've been doing this, I guess, on TikTok longer than you, but overall not as long as you, right?
Yeah.
And I think like something that I've found. It's like when I've played into it, you find more comments where people say, "Oh, he's this, he's that," right?
Yeah.
And so I think what I do is at this point, which I think is generally like not the best advice for creators, especially like aspiring creators, is like, you know, at some point, like I just stopped. I stopped answering. I stopped commenting back. And in my head, if I see it, I'm like, well, thanks for the engagement, right?
It works both ways though. Like if I don't comment on something, they're gonna come up with some narrative around it. Like they could see me at a video at a bar and Josh is drinking and they're like, oh, Quinn's getting him fucked up when he could be drinking a soda. And if I don't say something or play into it or comment on it or say it in a joking way and be like, you know what I'm saying, like stand up and say, who gives a fuck? I said World of Snickers. Or I said, you know what I'm saying? There's both ways. I know what you're getting at, but I think sometimes if you don't say anything, they create the narrative for you. That happens many, many times. So, I mean, there's both ways to look at, both ways of handling it, you know? And at the same time, it's just like they come up with these wild stories and these narratives that are just furthest thing from reality.
When you get to the point where everything you post is being seen by a lot of people, and then, you know, once or twice a week, there's videos in the millions of views, there's always going to be someone saying something. So what happened for me at some point was like, I would immediately get like defensive, right? And try and like, cause like you put something out there and then people either like it, and I noticed that if they liked it, I ignored it. And then, or if people hated it, then, or like there was some sort of backlash, then I would just try to defend myself. And after a while, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna lose the people who love me by ignoring them and spending all my time on the negative people. And I think for a while, what happened was like you mentioned, when you don't respond, there's some sort of narrative. Oh, he's not answering because he's got nothing to say, whatever. But I think after a while, it goes away.
I pick and choose what I respond to. You know, something ridiculous where they're saying or whatever. I really pick and choose what I want to address or what I feel like, you know, responding to. I don't really go live anymore because it's just that's when they take your lives and they just create deep fakes and they make you say things you never really said, So, but basically, I think I have a handle on it, and I think it's just a lot of lonely people that sit at home and they have nothing better to do than just being engaged in this riskality and basically, making me and Josh look like fools.
Yeah. So Josh, back to your business. Let's talk about it. You have Cameo.
Merch.
And which
tours.
You're not allowed to talk too much about, right?
Yeah.
And tours.
Yes.
Right? You said in a good year, or if this year's a good year, you'll make 60 grand from it all around, right?
Yeah.
Do you not want to be a full-time creator?
I do.
Then why would you want to get a job in a hotel?
If I start losing money, you know.
So getting a job in a hotel is sort of like a fallback plan.
Yes.
You have like a few years of experience under your belt now, right? You've got help around you. How are you going to make this like from like a great living to like an amazing living? How are you going to make $1 million, Josh?
I don't know.
Do you have any other, ideas or plans for the future on like how you can sort of expand your business?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. I'm sort of interested in like kind of toying around with just sort of like exploring that path for you because it's something that I've done a lot on my own. Like I said, I've been doing this for like 4 years now.
Yes.
And what I've noticed is my and many creators' biggest like source of income is brand partnerships, right?
Yes.
So I'm curious, have you done any brand partnerships?
A few, yes.
Who have you partnered with?
Goth Math.
Okay.
I've partnered with what's that other one? It was I forgot what it was.
Okay. Do you remember like how much money they gave you for the posts?
The Goth Math post was worth $700.
I don't mean this in like a bragging way at all. I think just to like sort of give you context. Most of the brand partnerships I do are like $10,000 to $15,000 for one video. And I think that's pretty, standard for like someone sort of my size. And I think you too, like we sort of qualify in the same like follower size.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that if you were, sort of able to like clean up your act a little bit, that you'd be able to like get partnerships with brands that like have a little bit of a cleaner image and like are willing to partner with you.
Yes.
And pay you a ton of money.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm making progress. I am cutting back on alcohol consumption.
Definitely. But even like during your process in doing that, like, did you ever think of like there's two separate things, right? There's Josh's TikTok account and then there's Josh in real life. Did you ever think of cleaning up your act on your TikTok account and maybe like showing less?
I show much less.
So you're right now you're showing less of
my
drinking and partying
yes.
and stuff than you were before.
Yes.
Okay. And did you ever think of like maybe like completely cutting that out? Or,
I don't.
Are you
I
afraid?
don't think I have to do that, but I think I should show less.
But you do. Like I mean, you don't have to do anything, right? But
I think showing less. I think that works for me.
It works for you, but I think you want it to work for brands, right?
It does. If I'm not drinking too much on video, it'll be better for me.
But too much is like not too much is if you're drinking, once a week or once every 2 weeks on video, right?
Right.
And so I think you're nowhere near that now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I could do less, like not do it every single day.
Right.
That's what I'll do.
But just to be clear, I mean like, what if you worked on yourself and making yourself better off camera? Like what if instead of posting drinking, in 7 videos in a night,
just do maybe one.
Right. What if you just posted yourself having 1 drink a week?
That's
or
all right,
I would
yeah.
suggest not posting it at all.
I'll
because
post 1 or 2 a week. That's all.
Do you post them because you know that they'll get attention?
No, I'm just showing people, I go out, I eat, and then I party on the weekends.
Your only real goal is to just be transparent with them and show them what you're doing?
Yeah. I post videos of me in Iceland and Norway.
But don't you think that it would create like a more powerful sort of like bond with your
I'll
audience?
post much less drinking. That's what I'll do.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do it for me, right? Like,
Yeah.
I have no skin in the game here.
I'll do less of that.
The only reason I care is because I think you seem like a really nice guy, and I want you to do well.
I'll do less of that stuff.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have a question here. Josh, you have an OnlyFans linked in your Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Do you make any money off of that?
Some, not much.
Okay. Do you see it as like a avenue that you could pursue as well?
I could, yeah. I don't post on it often.
What kind of content are you posting on there?
Thank you, Reese.
Just, like my behind and my feet. I'm not posting my front on it.
Interesting. That could potentially be like a really serious source of income.
Yeah, it could.
Have you thought about pursuing OnlyFans?
Yeah, I have. But I can't post videos promoting it on TikTok.
You have to do it through Instagram.
Yeah, because TikTok will
Right,
ban
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. What does ban mean?
I don't know.
That's funny. Do you save money for taxes?
Yes.
How does that work? Can you walk me through that?
I just put a little money in a savings account, then I draw a check.
The check that you draw is the money that you can spend?
The check that I draw is the money that I pay.
And 10%
Okay.
goes to me, right?
No. When I file my 1040 ES, I put an estimated payment in it.
Josh, I'm amazed at how much you seem to be like familiar with money and your taxes and stuff. How
Yeah.
did you learn about that? Can you tell me a little more about that?
I don't really know. I took a lot of classes for business. I took every class that my particular school had to offer. And I also learned, through the internet and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
So like if there's a question that you have about taxes or something, you'll go on YouTube.
I'll go on Google it. I'll Google it.
Back to the OnlyFans thing. You can only promote it on
Instagram.
But is that something, is OnlyFans something that you would want to do?
I
more of?
would. It would make me money.
It would make you probably a lot of money.
I already
Yes.
did that gig in the 90s.
Did you?
I was a Chippendales dancer.
Yeah.
No way.
90s, yeah.
Wow. Okay, tell me about that.
Well, this is before the Hulu Chippendales dance hashtag, right, Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Sorry to cut you off. But just before then,
Yeah.
Josh, I have to ask, why do you do hashtag Hulu Chippendales?
I don't know. I'm addicted to that hashtag.
You're just addicted to
yeah.
it. Okay, fair enough. So no particular reason. Love it.
Yeah,
All right.
I was the original Magic Mike. Back in the 90s, I was an off-Broadway actor. I did some, small parts in television, film, and soap operas, or daytime, as they say. And I was looking for an extra gig, and I was perusing through this weekly newspaper called Backstage. I think it still exists on. So this beautiful ad, big page, looking for Chippendales returns, looking for like 6'2" and good shape. And I was already a model. I was doing underwear modeling and things like that. I said, that's my baby. I'm going to go there, audition. And luckily, the guy who ran Chippendales at the time was from Brooklyn. And his father was the head of ran a varsity football team for many years. And I didn't know who the hell the guy was. But I said, oh, him? Oh, your father's an absolute legend. Absolute legend. So I played into it, and it was a fun gig, It was short-lived, but it was quite an interesting job to put on your resume, to put it that way. So
Definitely.
yeah, before OnlyFans.
How do you feel about Josh pursuing OnlyFans?
I don't think he should. No, I think
Why
he's
is that?
smarter than that. I don't think he needs to. I think
Right.
I think Josh. I don't think there's any issue with him pursuing a job as a concierge at a hotel or something like that. He could still do TikToks.
I know I
He can actually be hired to be the guy who does TikToks for the hotel and tells people
Right.
where to go, what to eat, where are the best restaurants. I think he can use TikTok to make that job better, and it would give him structure. It'll give him a place to go. Maybe he'd get benefits. Maybe he would spend less time in the bars,
Right.
So I definitely think he should pursue that. I looked
Yeah.
over his resume. I have a few people that I know in the industry I've been reaching out to. And I think that's, no, I don't think he should do the OnlyFans. I think he
Right.
should cut out the drinking, get a job at a hotel,
Yeah.
and continue with the
Yes.
TikTok and take his advice here. You could
Yeah.
go, if you cut the drinking, look how much, $10,000, $15,000 a post with your
Yes.
numbers.
Yes.
What would you rather do, drink or
I'd
the
rather
money?
spend less time drinking.
There you go.
Yeah.
Take
More
his
time making
advice.
money, man.
Yeah.
Listen
Yeah,
up.
that's what I'm saying.
You
I don't
know?
know. It's just, I think to me, it's just, like I said, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I think Josh just seems like such a bright kid. And like, I want to see him do well so bad. The people like in our positions making so much money right now is nuts. And so,
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
do
I
it.
sort of,
It's not a far reach for you, Josh. You could do it.
Yes.
You cut out the booze.
Yeah.
There's a sea of possibilities for you.
Right.
Okay, there's a sea of possibilities, no pun intended, with the captain's hat. I'll be honest with you. If you listen and you got to get rid of the booze out of your life, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'll cut back.
Not even cut, just
I'll cut back.
cut it out altogether.
I'm not gonna cut it out
Why?
altogether. I'll just.
What good does it do you?
It's fine if I do
not.
it in moderation.
All the issues that you're having in your life right now have to do with alcohol.
Yeah, I don't have to do it all the time.
How about not at all?
That's not necessary.
Why? Maybe it is.
No, it's not.
Why
I'll
don't you try?
cut down on the booze.
Can you cut down for a week? Let's see you can try that.
I will.
yeah, I would love to see. I
One
would
week.
love to see.
And put the drink tracker guy out of business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, maybe an occasional, wine with dinner.
No, but what if you didn't have a drink
Not even
at
one.
all for 1 week?
Not even one drink.
Do you think you could do that?
I could for a week, but I'm gonna.
Would you?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay sober today and tomorrow.
Okay, well, what if you did it until next
5
Monday?
more days.
I'll think about it. Okay.
Okay. You let me know. So I saw something that like a bunch of people said on the Reddit saying that there's sort of an anonymous person who pays for some of or maybe all of your trips because they
Some,
love
yeah.
your content.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's true.
Yes.
So there's someone who pays.
For some trips.
So someone pays for some of your trips just because they love your content. Is
Yes.
that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. That's fascinating. And how did you meet? Is it a guy or a girl?
It's a guy.
How did you meet him?
I've never seen him in person.
You've never seen him in person?
No.
Okay. So tell me how it works. Like, how did he like send you a DM on Instagram or like
Yes.
an email?
And then
Okay.
he's like, would you like to go to Vegas? Or would you like to go to Texas?
And then he just like,
Yeah.
Venmo'd you a few grand or something?
He bought me like the cheapest Spirit Airlines flight. I paid for a hotel or an Airbnb.
Okay. So he doesn't pay for your whole trip.
Not the whole trip.
Just like a few $100 for a flight.
Yeah.
What is his motive there? Like why does he do that?
He wants me to make a video there. Make videos
It's a
there.
fetish. I'm gonna watch you on vacation.
So he just wanted to watch you make videos in certain places.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it the drink tracker guy?
No,
That's
it's
interesting.
not.
What are your thoughts on the drink tracker guy? Because I'm super curious. Because I think we might have
He's
differing opinions on this a little bit.
He's being mean to me.
Mm-hmm.
He got me barred from McSorley's, and now he's trying to call me and Flanagan are trying to talk to the owner and explain
Wait, he got
what
you banned
happened.
from McSorley's?
Yeah, he was sending me mail there, and the person that was working there says, I'm not gonna allow you because you're receiving mail here, and they think that I'm pretending that it's my address.
Okay. This is interesting. This is not something that I knew of. And wait, this is the drink tracker guy that's doing this?
He's even admitted that he calls up restaurants and bars that he goes
What,
to. And,
on post or?
yeah, he admitted that he calls up restaurants to find out the menu and find out all information
And
about places to go.
send
That's just
mail.
creepy. That's just stalking.
Yeah, I didn't know
That's just
about
all
that.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
send mail and people,
Yeah, yeah.
and they don't like it.
They don't like
Yeah.
it, you know. And the fact that he's getting all these views and he's not helping Josh, and he creates a culture where
Do you think it's negative?
I do in a way because people don't. This is the issue. So he's got all this attention for counting Josh's drinks, which is completely inaccurate. Like he said, "Oh, that's a Long Island iced tea," when it's maybe like some
It
other drink.
could be.
Or then if he doesn't know, he'll call up. I mean, that's just creepy. And then on top of that, what happens is it's kind of like a domino effect. So all these people every day obsessively watch the drink tracker guy. How many drinks did Josh have? That's 18. Do you have a 19? Do you have? So they go to Josh and like, Josh, drink some more. They go on his tours. Josh, let me bring you drinks. It just creates a domino effect where basically the people that follow the drink tracker guy are in effect encouraging Josh to drink more. And listen, he could use Corey Haim or something. If he doesn't have to use Josh to prove his point on what alcohol does to people. And the fact that he's easily monetizing off it because the amount of views that he's getting, he's not original. All he's doing is counting. Who wants to be at a party with the guy who's counting your drinks? You know what I'm saying? And if he wants to be educational, he doesn't have to use Josh and exploit him to do it. Okay? And Josh made it very clear to him, very clear, stop doing it. And he continues to do it. That's harassment. Okay? And it's creepy. And Josh does not want it. I blocked him. Josh blocked him. And the only reason I know what's going on because other people let me know. Like, oh, and then he uses me. He uses my likeness and image. And he uses Josh's likeness and image to basically monetize off it. So you may say it's educational, but there's other ways to go about it. From what I know, I heard he's a former alcoholic. He's using Josh as a way to feel better about himself. And he needs to cut it out now because it's ridiculous. It's getting out of hand.
Yeah. I think he said before that he's a former alcoholic. I don't know. He's
not helping the situation. He's not making Josh drink less. It's the opposite. Actually, Josh is consuming more because of the effect of the drink tracker guy.
Can you explain that more?
Okay, so basically, it's almost like a contest, right? Every day. Oh, how many drinks did Josh have today? Oh, he had 26 in Indianapolis. Look, I have every drink. Oh my God, that's it. So people probably put bets on it. Oh my God, he's going to break his record from yesterday. Josh, you didn't have enough today. Have another one, Captain. Drink another one. Then they go on his tour and they feed him more drinks. You know what I'm saying? It just creates a culture of basically this domino effect where it's almost like a contest, like a game show. Like how many drinks is Josh going to have today?
Yeah.
Now, of course, he has a disclaimer, whatever, because it makes him look like just a great guy. So basically what he's doing is creating a domino effect where people encouraging Josh to drink more. There are other ways. First of all, he doesn't know me. He doesn't know Josh. Okay? He doesn't know us personally. And he does nothing to help the situation. Okay? The only person that could change the situation is not the drink tracker guy, not the Reddit trolls, not you, not me, not everyone here. Josh is the only one that could decide. And it's constantly talking to Josh like I do on a daily basis. Say, Josh, is this worth it? Is it worth it getting in trouble? Is it worth it getting banned? No one else is going to help Josh but Josh. But constantly counting his drinks and putting out the data or making him look like this fucking hero is not helping him at all. It's actually doing the opposite.
Josh, what do you feel? What do you feel about that? Do you think it makes you drink more?
I don't know if it does.
I feel like since Josh's content is so like alcohol focused already, it's sort of like hard to tell where that push comes from, right?
It's the
like
people. It's the trolls. Because people encourage him. He's getting the views because people are encouraging him to drink. If he was getting 200 views per drink, he would stop posting the drinks.
You're saying
Guaranteed.
Josh?
Yeah, it's a high he gets from it.
So you do think that he's posting because he knows that.
Exactly. Whether he knows it or
So
not,
you disagree
I know
with
it.
what he said before about because before he said that he was just like sort of trying to like, show his
No.
life
Even if it
accurately.
got very little views, I would still post it. It doesn't matter how many views it
I
gets.
think he posts consistently because of the fact it does get views.
That's
what I think,
not
so.
the reason.
Well, that's the impression I get.
Back to the drink tracker, I think people were concerned in the beginning. Then the trolls came, right? And it was like, have another one, Captain. Like,
I think, listen,
and
I don't know what his objective is. If his objective is to help Josh, it's not fucking working. If his objective is to educate people on the dangers of alcohol, use himself as an example. He's a former alcoholic. Post all the drinks that he had in his life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my point. He's not helping the situation. He's making it worse. He's trying to help Josh. It's not working. He's trying to build his own platform, which he's doing successfully. And if he wants to educate people, he has the experience. If he's a former alcoholic, he could post all the drinks he's had over the past how many years that he was an alcoholic. Use yourself as the guinea pig. Don't use Josh. You know,
people always sort of like shit on Mr. Beast, right? Why are you using people, maybe who are maybe like in a worse financial position to get views, right? And so I think his argument is like, well, if I do that, then the video gets more views, then I make more money, then I can give more money back to them. So it's sort of like a circle. And so I think with this, like the answer to that would be like, well, if he posted all of his drinks, then it wouldn't get views, right? And then it wouldn't help people. As where like if he posts, and I don't necessarily think it has to be Josh, and I think that whoever sort of takes the brunt of it, it's probably not exciting.
Well, he constantly posts that I'm an enabler.
Right.
Do I enable Josh to drink alcohol?
No.
Do I enable you? So they're right there. He's using me. He's using my likeness. He's making up stories that are just absolutely not true. I don't give Josh money for drinks. I don't encourage him, obviously, to drink. When we first met, we went out, we had drink. Yeah, we did. Not anymore. And I don't enable him. I actually try to talk Josh out of drinking and cut down drinking completely. And he keeps posting stuff about me, which is not true. He's pulling shit out of his ass so he could get more views, so he could look like the good guy. And he's using Josh. Josh is the one being sacrificed. He's the one that he's using to create a whole platform for himself. Okay? I'm friends with Josh. He's not. I know Josh in real life. Okay? Yeah. We're friends in real life. Okay? For him to call me an enabler, to say things about me and Josh, he doesn't know us. All he sees is what's on the videos of Josh having drinks. And I'll tell you one thing, most of the counting is inaccurate. It's not accurate. He comes up with some kind of, to make himself look like a fucking genius. He's not. He's not a genius. He's a leech, and he's using Josh's platform to monetize and make himself look better and make him feel better about himself because he's an alcoholic himself. And Josh said very clearly to cut it out, and he continues to do it. It's fucking harassment. Tell him, Josh.
It is harassment. And now he's calling up bars and writing letters. And, I keep getting banned from bars because of him.
And yeah, that part is interesting. I've never heard about that part. So maybe you guys should make some content about that and sort of try. Would you guys ever meet him in real life?
No, we don't want to meet him. And the thing is, why? Because it's going to enable him and his platform. It's going to, Josh ignores him. I block him. He blocks him. I mean, I hear what he posts when someone sends me a message. See, he put a clown face on you and used your voice. Like he uses me as content too. And that's just mocking someone. It's making fun of someone you don't know. And just to basically create a bigger platform for yourself. And no, I don't want nothing to do with the guy because he's just using us he's using my content and Josh's content to create a platform for himself.
Yeah.
And making himself look like it's just propaganda. He's making himself look like a good guy. He's just manipulating people to look like, and he's not saving Josh. He's not saving anyone. He's just benefiting himself and no one else. And that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah. Some of the people on Reddit have claimed to see you guys in real life seemingly in a relationship.
What does that mean? Like a friendship? Yeah.
No, like a romantic relationship. No. Of course, I assume that you would say there's no truth to that. Right?
What does he mean? Like we go out for dinner? Yeah. Do we have drinks in the past?
I think I should have saved the Reddit post, but I think someone mentioned like hand holding, like stuff like that. And of course, I mean, people can say whatever they want on the internet, right? So I don't know, but just
well, again, this is the fantasy. They come up with a fantasy about us and who we are. It's just it's not even close to reality. And these people need to get out of their homes once in a while. Maybe create content for themselves. Create their own platform instead of making up these stories. It's insane.
Josh, are you in a relationship?
No.
Do you want to be in a relationship?
I don't know yet.
I saw a video where you said you made hundreds of millions of dollars. And so someone, I guess in the business world, I'm curious, like, can you walk us through that a little bit? Because that's like a lot of money, right?
Yeah, I don't talk about my finances or anything to do with my company.
So that was a deep fake?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
See, you never know what's real or not. I was just like hundreds of millions of dollars. It's wild. Do you have like a job right now or?
Yeah, well, I sold my company a year ago. So I still receive residuals. And I also travel, I've been traveling a lot. And I do other things, helping small businesses, and I have other plans, but I'm not going to reveal them now. But I'm getting involved with other things, other types of businesses and things.
So there's nothing you could tell us about that.
No, I'm not going to reveal anything now.
Okay.
I'm not young anymore, but I'm enjoying my life and traveling, and just doing what I can just to kind of contribute to society.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, awesome.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys so much for.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thank you, Josh. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate
Bye.
it. All right.
All right. Thank you.